Two tweets from SBF, and I'm reading to you so you don't have to. So, to the best of my knowledge, as of post November 7th, with the potential errors, Alameda had more assets than liability, M2M, but not liquid. Alameda had margin position on FTX International. FTX US had enough to repay all customers, and not everyone necessarily agree with this, but his goal is to do right by the customer. I'm contributing what I can to doing so. I'm meeting in person with regulators and working with the teams to do what we can for customers, and after that, investors, but first, customers. A few weeks ago, FTX was handling around $10 billion a day of volume and billions of transfers, but there was too much leverage, more than I realized. A run on the bank and market crash exhausted liquidity. So, what can I try to do? Raise liquidity, make customer whole, and restart. Maybe I'll fail, maybe I won't get anything more for customers than what's already there. I've certainly failed before. You all know that now all too well, but all I can do is try. I failed enough for the month. I know you've all seen this, but here's where things stand today, roughly speaking. Lots of caveats. Liquid, negative $8 billion, semi-liquid, 8.5 billion, illiquid, 3.5 billion. And yeah, maybe that 9 billion illiquid M2M isn't worth 9 billion plus 1 billion net. A month ago, it was worth $18 billion plus 18 billion net. Truth and Beauty, once upon a time, a month ago, FTX was available. Enterprise, FTX has 10 to 15 daily volume in billions, roughly 1 billion of that is all revenue, 40 in equity value. And we are told as a Paragon's running on an effective company, and I was on the cover of every magazine, and FTX was the darling of Silicon Valley. He's not the only crypto exchange. We got overconfident and careless, and problems were brewing larger than I realized, and these numbers are approximate and to the best of my knowledge. Leverage built up around $5 billion of leverage backed by 20 billion of assets, which were, well, they had value. FTT had value in EV, but they also had risk. Side note here, the only FTT value is that you get some sort of discount on trading on their platform, but with the bear market, no one wants to do that anymore, and so Binance sold it and crashed the entire coin. And that risk was correlated with the other collateral and with the platform, and then the crash came in the few day. It was a historical crash, over 50% in most correlated assets with no bid aside. 25% of customer assets were withdrawn each day at $4 billion, which turns out leverage wasn't $5 billion, it was $13 billion. Total run on the bank, total collapse in asset value all at once, which is why you don't want to take that leverage, of course. And last